mat. Right, and I will change angles so you'll have an ability to see me and what you should be doing as best as we can with the horizontal camera here. Okay, balls of the big toes touching at the front edge of your mat, hands together at your heart, looking straight ahead. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, press your feet down into the ground as your skull presses to the sky, panini pressing in the center so the spine is supported. One more time, bend your knees a little, take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, press your feet down, feel your skull press to the sky and panini press your center. As you inhale, reach the arms around and up to the sky, look up to your hands, inhaling. As you exhale, grab your right wrist and stretch to the left. Inhale, still looking up to the sky. As you exhale, grab your left wrist and stretch to the right. One more time, inhale, reaching up to the sky. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, stretch over to the left, grabbing your right wrist, seeing how long you can make the right side of your body. Inhale, reaching up to the sky, look up, and then grab your left wrist. Exhale, stretch over to the side, making the left body long. Now in the center, reach up to the sky one more time. This time, look straight ahead. Reach your arms, pull your shoulder blades up by your ears so both your left and right sides are as long as each other. And then panini press and draw your shoulder blades down your back. From here, dive forward, hands go out to the sides, and you forward fold, dropping the head and hanging. Soften your knees. Press your hands into your shins. Inhale, lift your chin, your chest, and stick your bum high in the air. So you're arching your low back, pressing your hands into your shins while you widen your collarbones. And then exhale, release, bring the hands down to the ground and step your right and then left foot back and press back into a downward facing dog. From here, start to run your heels out. With each bend of the knee, try to lift your tail feathers a little higher and press and press. And 4, plugging the shoulder blades on your back and pushing through all 10 fingers. And 1, then lift both heels and lift your tail feathers even higher, pushing your hips back even more. Press both heels down, shift your heart forward, and hold your plank position. Then bend the knees down to the floor, bend your elbows slowly while they skim the sides of the ribs. Now panini press, lift your chin, your chest, your gaze, and start to lift your heart while squeezing your shoulder blades back. And then exhale, lower everything down from your knees, ladies. Hold here. Squeeze your elbows towards each other. Like you're doing, Pilates magic circle hugging. Deepen your abs and then slowly push up, doing a push-up from the floor, from the knees. Curl the toes, pike your hips back and stretch, pushing through all 10 fingers. Drawing the shoulder blades down your back. Then you walk your legs forward between your hands and let yourself hang. Bend your knees, push your hands into your shins and lift your chest. So take a moment here to create resistance. Press your hands into your shins, arch your low back and draw your shoulder blades towards each other like you're squeezing the circle behind you. Exhale, release, drop the head. And then push your feet down to roll up. Arms circle out to the sides, up to the sky, look up to your hands. Take a moment to make yourself as tall as possible. Stretch. And then the arms circle around, hands come to the heart. And we go again, reach the arms up to the sky. Big inhale, stretch, look up to your fingers. As you exhale, bend your knees and your hips, falling forward, dangle. Press your hands into your shins. Inhale, lift your head, your heart, your gaze. And then exhale, hands down, drop your head, step your left, and then right foot back, stretch. And then again, we run out the heels. Good. Now, as you're doing this, I'm coming to take a quick peek. Draw those shoulder blades down your back. plugging them so your neck gets longer, and lifting like you're trying to arch your low back. Okay, you're really sending your tail feathers high. Then lift both heels up, press the heels down, and shift your heart forward for a plank. Holding the plank, we bend our knees, and then bend your elbows very close to your ribs, widening your collarbones. Panini press, and then lift your chin, your chest, your gaze. And if your spine is okay with it, push all the way up into a full extension. Chest lifted, collarbones wide because you're squeezing your shoulder blades back. Take a big inhale into your throat and your heart. And then exhale, peel your spine back down to the floor. From the knees, push up, plank position, and pike your hips back. And then walk your feet forward towards your hands. Your head drops completely. Press your hands into your shins, lift your chin to your chest, your gaze, hold. And then lower and release. Start to roll your spine up as you push your feet down. Shoulders roll back, then reach the arms up to the sky. Look up to your hands, and then reach the arms down and around, hands at your heart. From here, bring your hands down to the ground and step your right foot back, bringing the right knee down. So we come into a lunge, yoga lunge, okay? Now, if you do have yourself on camera, check yourself out. And what you're looking for is 90 degrees all over the place to start. So very squared off. You'll see the front knee right over the heel. Back knee is right underneath the hip, okay? Lifting your chin, your chest. Now you're gonna get a close up here as we start to play around with our pelvic position, okay? So my front knee is my left knee. I'm gonna hike my left hip up. If you wanna take a visual here, you'll see how my left hip is much higher than my right. And then I actually drop my left hip down. Okay, so just play around with that. And I say hip, but it's actually your pelvic bone. Hikes up, and it hikes, or anchors back down, I should say. To see what's happening here, you'll see the torso, my left side shrinks in its length, and then it lengthens. Okay, pelvic bone lifts, and then drops as my left side gets longer. One more time. So any tight hips, this will be kind of challenging. It might not move as much. And then lower back down. Okay, so now it's anchored. Now we look at the side, okay? You're gonna shift your hip forward, so you're kind of rotating a little, and then draw your leg back into the socket. So your left hip goes forward, sort of like a turning or a rotation. And then you draw the femur, your left femur, back into its socket. Do that one more time. So you're shifting forward, and then you draw the femur back into its socket, okay? So we're square in all directions. Our hip is back and down. Now our whole pelvis shifts forward. You'll see the angles of my knees change, and then we push back. So our hip joint doesn't change. It stays dropped and pulled back and anchored. But we're shifting our body forward. Our whole pelvis goes forward, panini pressing, and then we pull back. And one more time, press forward. Now, once you're there, I want you to hold and panini press deeply. Keep panini pressing. Lengthen your skull to the sky. Here's where we apply our Pilates. For me, I feel like I have to pull my left femur back and down to make sure my pelvis stays square. Now with the right leg back, you reach your right arm to the sky and stretch over to the left. Take a nice big inhale. And exhale, bring that arm back down. Now our last challenge, not everyone can do this, but we're going to try. You flex your back foot and you push through your left heel and just start to lift. And then we lower down. Think of your pelvis going down. If this is too much for your joints, you just press into the floor and you don't go anywhere. Otherwise, you push down and you might actually feel your body move as it lifts. And when you go down, you're leading with your sits bones down. Okay? Good. One more time. Push through that left foot. Feel your body rise up off the floor. And then it's your sits bones that lower all the way down. And then we bring our left leg back and we bring the right one forward. Okay? So first you find your 90 degrees. Okay? Bada bing. Here's the front view of this. Now, we hike our right hip up, and then we anchor our right sits bone. We hike the right hip up, and then we anchor that sits bone. One more time, we hike up. So the whole pelvic bone moves up into our waistline, and it shrinks our waistline in not the best way. Drop that sits bone. Makes it crunchy, okay? Then we do the shift forward. Our pelvic bone moves forward. You'll feel the femur kind of pulling away from the socket. And then you draw the femur back into its socket. The femur gets pulled out of the socket in a sense. The pelvis shifts forward. And then we draw the leg bone back in its socket, okay? You do this so that you feel movement and no pain, okay? Maybe a little work. But again, we're not aiming for pain here. Pull the leg back in its socket so that we're square from left to right and from front to back. Okay, so we've got our shape here. You can put your hands on your abs to remind you of your panini press. And we start to bend forward in our lunge. Our whole body moves. Your head might want to go forward more than your heart, but lead with your heart and shift back. In fact, think of your head, heart, and hips, your 3 H's, all on one line. And then coming back. Oh, it's better, Eileen. Nice. And one more time, we hinge forward. The right femur's in the socket and the hip is lengthened. Panini press to support your spine, and then we flex the back foot. Again, this side might not lift, but you push through your right heel and you feel if your body can move. Okay? As we lower, it's our sits bones that lead the way. Okay? Our right femur's in the socket. We deepen our panini press and we push again. Lifting. Abs deep. And then we lower. Sits bones lead the way. One more time. Press through that heel. We lift. Abs deep. Skull magnetized to the ceiling. And then we lower back down. Step that foot back and just take a quick child's pose. Knees bend wide, reach your arms, and your forehead goes down to the floor. And from here, we start to work into the arms. So you're sitting back, you're going to walk your fingertips over to the right side of your mat, and then try to walk your fingertips to the farthest corner of your mat, right? So you're not only going to the side, but to the front of the mat. Your head drops, and we take a big inhale into your sides. As you exhale, you let your head feel heavy. Inhale into your sides. And exhale, feel heavy. Walk your hands back to center, and then walk the hands over to the left side of the mat. Your head drops. And we walk, again, the fingertips as far away as possible, and we inhale into our side. And then exhale, head heavy. One more time, big inhale. Exhale, head is heavy. Walk your hands back to center. Walk your hands towards you, and then push to roll yourself slowly up. If you can come up on the knees, great, or you can stay sitting on your heels. If this is all still too much, I suggest sitting in a chair, okay? But we're gonna do a very simple yet effective exercise, which is just shaking the arms. So we're gonna reach up to the sky, and then we're gonna like shake from the fingertips all the way down towards the floor, okay? So you reach up to the sky, stretch, and then you shake. Good. So reach up to the sky, take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, your head, your skull still stays lifted to the sky, but you're just shaking out. Good. Reach up to the sky, big inhale, stretch the sides of your body. Big exhale, shake the fingers, shake the arms, shake everything out. Last two. I could stretch with you all day, but this is one of the most potent ways to loosen up tension through the upper body. Shake, 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 shake. And one more time, reach up. And then exhale, shake, shake, shake. Good. From the knees, bring the arms behind you, okay? Palms, if available to your body today, press into each other and interlace the fingers, okay? Squeeze the elbows towards each other, opening up the collarbones. And then let the elbows fall to the side. Again, squeeze the elbows towards each other. Good. And then release. Last two, as you squeeze the arm bones back, lengthen the skull to the sky and panini press your abdominals. And return. So you squeezing your elbows towards each other is just an invitation for the shoulder blades to squeeze towards each other. Panini press so you don't crowbar to make it happen. Good. Now hold this there. Start to bring the elbows up as high as you can, bending them. And then extend and bend. Okay? So we extend. Your skull is lifted. You're extending and bending. Good. And you breathe out as you extend and bend. Palms pressing towards each other as best you can as you extend and bend. Last couple here. Press, extend, and bend. One more time, extend. Now hold the extension, and I want you to press the arms up to the ceiling as you start to roll your head down. Whether you're up on your knees or sitting on your heels, you stretch forward. Take a big inhale into your back. As you exhale, draw the shoulder blades away from your ears and slowly start to roll back up, initiating from your abs as your hands stay together and reach to the floor. Release the elbows, let the shoulders roll forward, okay? We do it again. Squeeze the elbows back. Elbows bend up as high as they can go, towards each other, and then we extend. And then we start to press our fists up to the ceiling as our head peels away. Try and get the pinky side of your hands to touch each other. That's a real challenge. Now, once you're there, plug or draw the shoulder blades down your back. Scoop your abs and initiate that roll up from your core. The arms follow suit. Finally, the head lifts. Bring the elbows up, let your elbows go forward, and in fact, just do one more shake just out to the side. Okay? Good. And coming back up onto your feet. Standing. We're going to go wide here, okay? So kind of a goddess pose. So our feet are wide, toes are turned out. And again, think of your sits bones, okay? I mean, really close, up close and personal. Sits bones, the two bones at the base of the spine reaching to the floor so your pelvis feels very heavy. It's not so much a movement at the knee as I want you thinking about the movement in your pelvis. You got it, Eileen, nice. Okay, so hands on the hips to start. Just start to lower your pelvis towards the floor. And then feel your skull get pulled up to the sky. Okay, so tops and bottoms of the spine. The bottom of the spine gets pulled to the floor, right? Sits bones, magnetized there. And then our skull gets a stronger pull up. Okay, and continue. So we bend. So our knees just naturally bend to make this happen. As our head gets pulled to the ceiling, feel your shoulder blades plug down your back. Again, we lower. And then we get pulled up. So it's, think of your spine moving in space rather than anything like a squat. One more time, we come down. I want you to hold here. Now your pelvis is heavy. We lift the right heel and we lower. We lift the left heel and lower. Now as you do this, continue right and left. You want to keep your pelvis as square as possible. So if the heel lifts and the hip lifts, that's not what we're looking for. The heel lifts, the hip stays square. And lift and lower and lift. Keep your spine lifted. The tailbone and the sits bones are reaching to the floor and your skull is lengthened to the sky. And we lift and lower. Lift, shoulders plugged on the back. Last two. You could also do this with a magic circle if you have one. One more. Lifting and lower. Press through your feet evenly to come all the way up and then shimmy or inchworm or snuggle the legs back in and then just march it out for a minute. Good stuff. Okay, so We step our right foot forward, our left leg comes back. And the foot position here is parallel to start. So here's my right foot, here's my left foot back. You'll notice that my feet are like on train tracks. I'm not walking on a tightrope here. Train tracks, okay? So we have our train tracks. Reach the arms out in front of you. The width or the length of your stance is up to you. So again, it's not a warrior one posture yet. It's more of a lunge posture. You're gonna lift that back heel up, panini press, lifting out of that left hip. Stay lifted as you push your left heel back, okay? So we lift the back heel up, we deepen our panini press, we lift out of our hips, and then we stay lifted as we press the heel back, okay? So continuing that, we inhale, we lift that back heel, we pull our abs in, we panini press, we keep the lift, and we press the heel back, so we essentially feel like we're getting longer through our low back. One more time, lift that back heel up. Good. Now hold that lift. Reach the arms to the sky and start to lower your pelvis by bending both knees. So we're essentially working our lunge from the top now. And then we push all the way back up. Lower the back heel. Again, we lift the back heel, we pull our abs in and up, and then our pelvis gets pulled to the floor while we bend both knees. We pull back up, and then we press that back heel down, lengthening out of our side body. Again, the heel lifts, we pull up, we start to lower. It looks like a lunge, right? But we're working differently, working with lowering the pelvis. Pull back up. Keep your abs pulled up as you press the heel away from you, creating length out of the socket. One more time, we lift. We lower our pelvis. We pull back up through our spine. We stay lifted. We press that back heel. Beautiful. From here, straighten the front knee and bend the front knee. Trying to keep that back heel down. So you're not going to bend a ton. We bend to the point where we stretch the calf on the left side. Press up, straight legs. We deepen our abs, and then we bend the front knee, stretching the back leg. One final time, push up, abs, bend that front knee. Push up, arms can come down, step your left foot forward. Roll the shoulders out. And then we step the right foot back. Same setup, ladies. It's a parallel railroad. Feet are turned parallel, not turned out in any way. Okay? And again, the length is up to you and your hips and your body. Okay? So here we go. We start with just the lifting of the back heel. We lift the back heel. We pull our abs in. We keep them pulled in as we press that heel back down. Lift. Abs deepen, we pull up. Think of lifting out of the left hip as well as you lower that back heel. So I don't know about you, but my sides of my body feel very different, okay? This side feels much less tight. One more time, lift up, abs deepen. Now reach your arms up by your ears, and we start to lower the pelvis. And it'll look and feel like a lunge. And then come back up. Press the heel down as you deepen your abs. Again, we lift up. The difference is when you think about different parts of your body moving in space, it changes where you load. So instead of loading the knees, like lunges can often do, if you think of your pelvis and spine moving in space, it's going to take the pressure off your tiny joints and put the work in your core muscles. One more time, lift, panini press actively, lower down, pelvis. Good. Lift up, abs deep, press that heel back. And our last round here, we bend the front knee to stretch the back calf, and then we straighten the front leg. This will also help you build up for your triangle poses in yoga. And press. Good. Again, we lean, keeping that back heel anchored and pushing up. And one more time. Pressing up. Good. Lower the arms, step your right leg forward, and just march it out. Good.
We'll do a little salutation to get back down to the floor. So feet together at the front edge of your mat, hands at the heart. Take an inhale as you reach your arms to the side, look up to the sky. Stretch your side bodies. As you breathe out, you fold forward, bending the knees, let your head fall. Here in yoga especially, use this time to connect your core. You press your hands into your shins, you lift your chin, and this is active, ladies. The hands are actively pushing into the shins. There's like this major pressure. It's like I'm trying to imprint my hands into my shins so that, watch my shoulder blades. That can happen, right? This is active. And then we drop and we round our back, okay? Hands go down to the ground. Walk yourself out into a downward facing dog. Hips high, head dropped and all 10 fingers pressing. Oh, that stretch feels mighty nice. Plug the shoulder blades. Then we shift our heart forward. Good. Bend your knees and with control, lower yourself all the way down to the ground. Nice work. So from here, we'll get a little close up. Yeah, okay, so old school Pilates, right? But our hands are gonna come right on the sides of our cheeks. So thumbs, fingers, everything, pressing into the sides of our hips. And our elbows are gonna roll towards or squeeze towards each other. So make sure, check in your own camera to make sure you're here and not on top of your bum and grabbing your cheeks. You want your hands on the sides of your legs, okay? Looking down at the mat, squeeze your elbows towards each other. Now push your hands into your legs like you're trying to leave your handprint. Then lift your chin and your chest and keep squeezing the elbows towards each other as you press your hands into your legs, gliding down towards your knees. It should create a similar sensation to the magic circle work if you've done that with me before. And then you bend your elbows. They're still trying to touch each other behind you while pushing your hands into your actual own leg, okay? Then we lower our head, we release the elbows and let everything fall, okay? We do this again. Press the hands into the sides of your hips, not the tops, not the backs of your bum cheeks. We look at the floor. Push your hands into your legs as much as you can while squeezing the elbows towards each other. Now deepen your abs. Lift your gaze and then start to glide your hands down your legs while squeezing the elbows towards each other. Keep pushing your hands. It's going to feel hard to do, but keep pressing, especially the pinky side, into your own legs. Then we bend our elbows back while they're still squeezing towards each other. And then we lower and release. Good. From there, place the hands kind of more in line with the side body, like your ribs. If you need a visual, I'm right here. It's kind of just below my chest. And my elbows are really close towards each other, okay? So let the elbows fall wide and then squeeze them back. So this is also the same as you rotating your arm bone forward and rotating your arm bone back, okay? One more time, rotate forward and rotate back. Now, just like in our beginning lunge series, I had you push through your foot and you might not have moved. The same thing's going to happen here. With the elbows squeezing towards each other gently, push your hands into the floor and just see if you go anywhere. Hold it there, squeeze your shoulder blades back towards each other, and then release the work completely. Again, abs deepen, our elbows squeeze towards each other, and you push. Now, if you actually push up, great. If not, great too, because I know you are feeling it. Widening your collarbones, shoulder blades squeezing, deepening your shrink wrap, and then you release. We do two more. Squeeze the shoulder blades, deepen your abs, and press. In the fitness world, it's called a tricep push-up. But really, there's no such thing. All your muscles are working together here in the upper body. And then releasing any work. One final time, the elbows squeeze. You're widening your collarbones as you press into the ground. And you just see if your spine moves or if it doesn't. But I want you feeling work. These muscles are engaging, even if the floor doesn't go anywhere, right? And then release the elbows, sit back on your heels and stretch. Good. And then coming up. So we go into our third lunge series, this time for twisting purposes. So we step our right foot forward. Left knee is back. So right foot forward, left knee back. And remember I gotta get you back on the little desk here to see this part. Remember that when we're in this position, we want our hips square and the right femur in its socket, okay? So we're there with that. You're gonna take your right hand on your thigh as your left arm goes to the sky and stretch over to the right. So your left side is stretching. Your right hip is heavy, abs are deep, and then come back up. Bring the hands to your heart, twist towards your right leg, and then we actually sort of lunge forward as we bring the left elbow to the right knee. Draw your right hip back, draw your right hip down, and panini press. Big inhales through the spine. Big exhales, we feel our shoulders plug as our neck lengthens. Big inhale, lifting out of our low backs. As you exhale, you're shrink wrapping and panini pressing while you're widening your collarbones. Whole bunch of stuff going on. One more. Exhale, deepen. And now your challenge here, flex the back foot and just see if you can push enough to lift that back leg. Your left hand can go down, your right arm can go up, and you can turn looking towards the sky. If you don't fall over, right? Pressing that back leg, anchoring. You bend that back knee, you bring the hands back down, unravel, and then push yourself up. And we do the other side. Step the left foot forward. Drawing your left hip back and down. Beautiful. And we stretch one more time the right side. The right arm goes up and we stretch while panini pressing and the left hip doing its best to stay in line with the right hip. Good. And then we come back. We bring our hands to our heart and we lunge forward and then twist to the left. Looking to that side, taking nice big inhales, big exhales. Hips are heavy, sits bones are rooted. And then if you'd like to progress today, your right hand goes down, the left arm goes up and you look back. And to progress, if you'd like even more, you push that back leg straight. I have to bring my right hand to the inside of my foot right now, based on my level of balance. So you do what feels good to you. Then we bend that back knee, we bring our hands back to our heart, we unravel, and then we push back and bring our left knee back, and we're gonna actually stay right here and go right into the next exercise. So the left knee, we stay bent on that one, and we straighten the right leg out to the side, okay? This is a variation, Parigasana, your gate pose in yoga, okay? In fitness, this would be some sort of side lunge, single leg step lunge. The two coincide a lot, they just look different. Okay, so we're gonna play around with our hiking first. So the hip hikes up and then the hip lowers. Now mind you, go ahead and keep doing that. I wanna do a close-up of the foot here like I did last week. You can either have the foot facing forward or turned out. Turned out might feel a little better, more natural, but you have an option there, whatever you feel like you need to work on today, okay? So the hip hikes up, and last time it lowers, good. Now we go into moving the foot or the leg. We rotate the thigh out, let that right hip drop. You might find it drops easier, and then rotate the foot forward. This whole time, you're applying Pilates principles.
panini pressing, the skull is floating to the sky, rotating forward and down. And again, rotate out, you feel your sits bone drop, your spine lengthens, and then you rotate forward and down. One more time, rotate out. Now, ladies, magnetize the skull to the ceiling and your sits bones to the floor. So they're polar opposites. Your right hand will glide down your right leg gently. In fact, soften the knee a smidge and stretch out of your left side. You're lifting out of both sides. We do not load the right leg. In fact, it's the opposite. We're lifting out of the right leg. And then we come up, our left hand comes down, and we stretch the other way. Turn to look under that arm towards the ceiling. And then we look straight ahead, we pull up, we lift, we glide our hands down, and we stretch that left side of the body. Push your hips gently forward as you panini press your abs back. And then we lift up. Be sure to keep that right knee soft today. Left hand goes down if that's available to you, and you stretch. Now the right foot and the right hand stretch away from each other. Turn to look under the arm. We look straight ahead again one final time. We glide our right hand down with a soft right knee. We stretch. Lift your navel in and up along the spine. Deepening your abdominals. Turn to look under that arm. And then we release. Let's go to the other side. Our left leg goes out. Okay. Foot position, once again, up to you for this first stretch. And we just hike the hip up. And we sink it. And then we hike up. And then we sink it. One more time, we hike up. Actually, we have to do a couple more on this side because I think I let you go a little longer. Right, so this is that pelvic bone, that ilium it's called, moving in space. And you'll find your spine kind of follows. It'll kind of crunch up on the side. Good, and release. One more time. I've seen this in fitness magazines where they teach you to do this so you actually strengthen your obliques. Yeah, you're better off lengthening your obliques and then engaging them, right, than crunching them. So keep that sits bone anchored to the floor, and now we do our fun femur rotation out of the socket and rotate in and rotate out and rotate in. One more time, rotate out. Hold the rotation out. If you'd like to soften the knee, you can. We're going to glide down that left leg. Our right arm goes to the sky, and we, if you can, look up under that arm. Stretching without loading your left leg. And then we lift up, counter stretch. Right hand goes down, we stretch the left arm. Feel how long your left side body is. Good, and then we lift up. The left hand glides down the left leg, the right arm lifts. We look under the arm. Now let's Pilates style this, right? We push our hips forward, we panini press in, and we lengthen out of our hips as best as we can. And then we come down, our hand goes down, we stretch up and over the other way. Reach, look under the arm if you'd like, here as well. And our last one, glide the left hand down. Hip square, you're lifting out of your hips. We're not loading the joints. And then we release. Nice work. Come on, hands and knees. So hands right underneath the shoulders. Now this is a thread the needle exercise, so setup is important. You need to check, if you can, check yourself out in your camera. If you're doing this recording, just make sure you have the best sense of your hip socket over your knee joint and your shoulder joint over your wrist joint, okay? And then we thread our left arm through the opening as we bend our right arm. Now our hips, you'll notice, stay right over our knees. There's this tendency to kind of sink back. Keep your hips over your knees today. Head is down. And I want you to hold this pose through 2 full breath cycles. Inhaling. As you exhale, reach your fingers. See if you can squeeze out a little more air. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Now this third one, we inhale, you push through this right hand on the floor and pull your abs in. As you unravel, your left hand comes to your heart and you open your chest to the other side. turning your head as much as you can. Big inhale. As you exhale, thread through. We bend our right elbow. It's almost like a one-armed push-up. Coming all the way down. We just do one full breath cycle. Inhale. Exhale, shrink wrap. See if you can squeeze a little more twist out of yourself. And on this inhale, you push through this right arm while deepening your abs, and you feel the work down the right side of the body as you twist open to the left side. Take a full inhale here. Exhale, lengthen your spine. And then place your left hand down, okay? Check yourself in case you shifted. Shoulders over wrist, hips over knees, and then our right arm threads through. We bend the left elbow and we turn our head. And we stay here for 2 full breath cycles. Big inhale, big exhale. Inhaling, feeling your side body open up. Exhale. And on this inhale, you start to twist. You push through your left arm, your right hand comes to your heart, and you twist open. Keep the hand at your heart because it allows you to twist more through your torso and not stretch your shoulder. Big inhale, pushing out of the left arm. And then we thread through again. So you bend your left elbow, controlling your descent, working kind of a one-arm push-up, twist, 1 full breath cycle. Big inhale. Exhale, deepen your abs. On this inhale, press through your left arm, deepen your core, and we go hand to heart. So we authentically twist through our spine. Look up to the sky, take a big inhale. Exhale, and then lower down, sink back on your heels and stretch. Okay. So we're going to stretch the shoulder blades. Sorry, we're going to stretch the shoulder joint, kind of stretch the chest a little bit. We did this actually in our mat work this week as well in some classes. You're going to be on the floor, arms out to the side, and we're going to be doing this twist. Now, I want you to note something here. Pay attention to my knee. I want your knee to be towards the ceiling. So this femur rotates out, and then the foot might touch the floor. So it's not like we're just turning and the foot's flat. You lead with the knee. It rotates out, and the whole time the arms are reaching away from each other. Then we bring the knee back and down, and we do the other side. So the knee is pointing towards the ceiling, and we go back down, okay? So arms out to the side like the letter T. You start by looking down at your mat. Walk your fingertips as far away from each other as possible. Okay, then bend your left knee. And we turn our head to the left as we twist our body open. The left knee faces the ceiling. We come back to center. The knee comes down. We return to center with our head. The right knee bends. The right knee starts to lift and initiates a twist in our body. We open to the right side. Good. Knees facing the ceiling. And then we rotate. The knee comes back and we look down. One more time. Then the left knee. Rotate, opening your body to the left. Your left knee's to the ceiling. We rotate facing the ground, and the knee comes down and we lower. The last time, bend your right knee, twist. Good. And then rotate and back down. Now from here, go ahead and push yourself up. Walk your knees in and then pike back to a downward facing dog. Okay. Bend your knees a smidge so you can get your tail feathers higher, okay? So you'll notice in the video, if I straighten my legs, my lower back kind of rounds. That's because I have tight hamstrings. So I need to bend my knees to get length in my low back. You'll literally see my waistline get longer, right? It goes from here to here. So you do your best to make the same feeling happen. Push through all 10 fingers and then plug your shoulder blades. Now, we send the left leg up to the sky. Push your right leg a little straighter. Bend your left knee and we rotate just like we did on the mat. We open our our hips to the left side. Holding there, push through all 10 fingers and plug your shoulder blades. Come back to center, extend the leg high to the sky, and then bring those toes down. We send the right leg back, high to the sky. Press your left heel towards the floor. And then we bend our right knee and we open our hips to the right side of the body. Looking under our arms to the right side as well for 3. That knee is reaching to the sky, 2. And 1, we come back to center, just extend the leg, bring the foot down, and then bend your knees, sit back on your heels and stretch. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. One more time, big inhale and a big exhale. Good. So coming out here, you're gonna press out. Actually, let me lower the camera here so you can see what's going on. We're in a plank, but on our forearms. So we're right here. Start on your hips. I'll show you what we do and then you can start, okay? So from the knees, pull the abs up and push your thigh. It's almost like you're pushing the tops. I don't want to say the tops of your knees, but think of the bottom of your thigh bone, right where it meets the knee. That part of the leg is pushing into the floor a lot. You're pushing your fists into the floor and you're panini pressing so that your core kicks in. And then release. We do that again. We press through our fists, so it feels like some arm work, but then we drive our thighs down into the floor so much that our pelvis lifts so that you feel work across the front of the hips and you're panini pressing like crazy. It's a lot of work and it's different than just planking. Release. If you've hit a shaking point, you know you're on the right track, okay? Push your fists down. Push your thighs down so that your pelvis starts to lift. So the point of contact is right above the knees on the thigh. Pull your abs in deep as you keep pushing through your fists for 3, plugging your shoulder blades 2, deepening your abdominals 1, and then release completely. Sit back on your heels and stretch. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. Good. So from here, hands and knees, you're almost there, ladies, by the way. You're going to pull your right knee in so that the toes kind of just hover and then release. Pull the left knee in so the left toes just hover and release. And we alternate. Right knee comes in, toes hover, they don't touch the mat, and release. This whole time you're plugging your shoulder blades and lengthening your neck. And we pull the right, good, and then the left. And then extend the leg back, then the other, and we alternate the knees from the toes. Pull in, switch, and pull in, switch. Your neck is long, your shoulders are plugged, and pull, and switch, and 4, and pull. Last 2, and switch, 1 more. Lower the knees. Now our grand finale exercise here. I think yep, this one and then 1 more. You're gonna be all done. From the hands, you can make fists at this point if the wrists are not happy, or take a break and join in when you're ready. But you're gonna bring the knees a little bit under the navel, so in front of your hip sockets. You'll round your spine like you're doing a cat-cow stretch, but just the cat portion. Plug your shoulder blades. Then flex your feet and lift your knees just a centimeter off the floor. So your head is hanging, your navel is deep, your shoulders are plugged, and your knees are just hovering as you pull the navel in. For 3, for 2, breathing 1, lower your knees, sit back on your heels and stretch. So either you did that right and you felt it and you're like, how could something like that be so challenging? Or you're like, I have no idea what we just did. What's the point? Keep working at it until you feel your sweat kick in, your internal heater generate, and maybe some shaking. And then you know you're on the right track. Grand finale, ladies. Bend your knees. We'll bridge to finish. Arms reach up to the ceiling. Pilates style, right? Eileen, you're just like me. Walk your feet a little further away. There you go. We press our arms down. We lift our hips. You might hear the kids coming down the stairs to let us know class is over.
Lengthen your throat. Reach the arms to the ceiling and then roll your spine down one bone at a time. Come on in, you guys.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Manny. One more time. Press your arms down, lift your hips. Lengthen your skull away from your kneecaps. Shrink wrapping, panini pressing. And then we reach our arms up and we roll down one bone at a time. And as Manny has indicated, class is over. Thank you so much. Do you want to say hello?
Hello.
Oh, all right, let me get you all in here. I'll stop